So, Mr. Shark, tell me what's on your mind.
Well, Doc, lately I've been having trouble liking certain characters, or more so understanding their use, such as Diamond Tiara, Trixie, and Gilda. They have potential to be interesting. Heck, they could be great. Except for me, they feel underutilized. Can you understand where I'm coming from, Doc?
I suppose so. You are concerned that there could be some missed opportunities with how much we could explore their motivations and conflicts?
Yes, exactly, Doc. I understand that these characters weren't meant to be big. I'm not saying they should be either, but I fear that these missed opportunities might go into the main cast as well. I mainly see this for after the CMC get their cutie marks.
You're worried that the show will eventually stop developing characters like the main six in the CMC? Devolve the show into something static and unchanging?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't want the show to devolve into something that is static. I don't want their characters to simply stop developing.
Well, we haven't seen any of these characters reach that point as of yet. In fact, from what I keep hearing about Season 5, it seems the writers intend to make even more changes to the show than anything we've had before. And they've proven that they can exceed our expectations in many ways. So, I'm rather curious why you have this fear, Shark. Is this more about characters like Diamond Tiara, Trixie, and Gilda all reaching a certain point and then never moving any further?
Yeah, I guess so, Doc. I mean, take Diamond Tiara for example. We have seen her bully the CMC before, yes, but we haven't seen why she does, thus making our character stall. And I have a fear that at some point this would happen to the main six, and Hasbro wouldn't let the writers of MLP stop the show before that point in order to end on a high note. Can you see what I mean?
Well, in the case of Diamond Tiara, the main purpose behind her character isn't so much about being some pony the audience can relate to, but rather consistently presenting conflicts for the CMC to grow from. One of my personal favorite episodes from the series is Flight to the Finish, where we get to see Scootaloo going through the harshest struggle she's had to face thus far. And that couldn't have happened without a character like Diamond Tiara bringing her very worst to bear. If we saw genuine growth from Diamond Tiara, where she was the focus of an episode and had to overcome some great conflict, whether external or internal, I'd have to question whether we might be losing some opportunities at the same time. Sure, it would be interesting to have more depth to her character, make her not quite so one note as she has often been. But I wonder if by doing so, the CMC would become more static as time went on. Without an antagonist like Diamond Tiara pressuring them in some way, there would need to be some brand new struggle introduced to take her place, which I'm sure the writers could accomplish. But don't you think that you might be unraveling part of what makes the show work so well if you try to shift focus onto some of the more static characters, as you put it?
Yeah, I guess I can see where you're coming from, Doc, but for me, here's the thing. I can let a bully character like, say, Gilda slide because she has only appeared once, and even if she appeared again and still bullied the main six, I could let it slide because she's not that big of a character. But for Diamond Tiara, who has appeared in almost every CMC episode, I believe her character should be held to a higher standard. Now, I'm not saying not to make her a bully. I'm just wanting an explanation as to why she's a bully, so that she could become more three-dimensional rather than a one-note character, as you put it.
If Diamond Tiara could be portrayed in such a way that would explain her bullying without feeling like a cheat, I would very much like to see that as well. We just need to remember giving her a compelling backstory while making every one of her actions relatable is quite a tall order. The MLP staff would have to tread very carefully and put in a great deal of effort to make it work. But then that begs the question, would such a story be worthwhile enough to tell? If the writers had to put in that much work to make the story believable, then would we lose out on any kind of further development from the other characters? There is the element of opportunity cost after all. There are only so many episodes each season, and only so many writers to make stories, and only so many animators to throw together a proper presentation. And besides, surely there are such works within the fanfiction community that effectively develop her character. Would that be enough to keep you sated until the show writers decide to address this topic themselves someday?
Yeah, I guess fanfictions can sate my interests for now, but in truth, I'm not asking for a whole episode based around Diamond Tiara. Just a moment, a little moment, in a CNC episode, maybe showing her being jealous of the CNC due to the fact that the three are so close. That for me would be enough, as I have met people in real life who bullied for that reason. I could believe Diamond Tiara would act like that.
Perhaps in time. Or perhaps it could be that some bullies act as they do for the simple reason they enjoy it. Maybe that's the good lesson for us to learn as well. To realize some ponies perhaps won't ever want to change, or won't ever have a relatable reason for hurting others. And it's up to us to find ways of coping, just as characters like the CMC do.
Yeah, I guess I can see where you're coming from, Doc, and I still personally don't like it, but I can accept that sometimes characters are jerks for the sake of introducing conflict. Thanks for your time, Doc.
Glad to be of service. Shall we continue on this next week?
Sure, Doc, I would enjoy that.
Take care, Shark. It's good to be helping.